All right, welcome everybody. We're gonna get started here in just a second. It's 10:01. We are recording so that we can put this on the website later, but I'm just gonna show you. Let's see, everyone a wave high. Let's move. What do we put right here? All right, good morning. I'm Lisa Costa. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Leadership at Idaho Career and Technical Education. We're gonna get started this morning with our updates. All of our state officers are here. They waved earlier, you can wave again, guys. We're gonna be doing the updates, and then after this recording, you should have received a link for your own org. If you haven't, go ahead and email me, lisa.costa@cte.idaho.gov, or any of your program managers, or any of the other CTSO managers, and we can get you that link. After this video, you will have your updates with the state officers for your specific org. So let me start out here, give you a little update about the student leadership structure. So we're part of the program services team. For the student leadership, there's me, Lisa Costa.
Hi, I'm Brandy Hawkins. I am CTSO Manager for Business Professionals of America. Good morning, I'm Jessie Kellogg. I work with FFA and HOSA Future Health Professionals.
Good morning, I'm Andrew Armstrong. I provide administrative support for BPA, DECA, and FCCLA.
And I'm Stephanie Garcia. I do administrative support for FFA, HOSA, Skills, and TSA.
And as you can see on the slide, we have 2 positions open right now for Skills, TSA, FCCLA, and DECA. If you're interested or know someone who is, please follow that link. It closes tomorrow. So we'll get started here. I cannot see the chat as our video is on. We'll come back at the end and answer any questions that you have in the chat.
Hello, my name's Olivia. I'm the president of HOSA Future Health Professionals. We just have a quick 2020 state conference recap. We were fortunately still successful with most of our conferences regardless of our restrictions. DECA had 396 students in attendance. TSA had 226. BPA had 1,400. FCCLA, unfortunately theirs was canceled, but they still held a virtual celebration. Skills USA was canceled. HOSA also held a virtual conference and they had 419 attendees. And FFA held an online conference in June and that was open to the public on Facebook Live.
So you guys see me. Hi, I'm Clayton Bean with FFA. I'm serving as this year's president. I'm giving kind of an update on our national conferences for 2020. So DECA's this year was canceled. For BPA, it was canceled, but they did have an online celebration, and Sophia Pearson from BYUI and Eli Sorensen, who's the national secretary, and Sophia is the post-secondary president. They're going to be here with us today. FCCLA held a virtual national leadership conference with 42 registered competitors and 92 participants. Skills USA had their national conference canceled, as did TSA. HOSA held the virtual national leadership conference. They had 175 attendees and 159 competing. So we had 7 Idaho competitors placed in top 10. And then FFA, we're going to recognize our national chapter and proficiency awards, but we will not be holding a national leadership conference.
Hi, my name is Camilla Rhodes. I'm FCCLA's Vice President of Programs. BASIC is Building and Achieving Success in Idaho Chapters. Be sure to have your chapter officers come. It will be held in October. This year it will be a virtual event. We are still looking at more resources, so there will be more information to follow.
Hi, I'm Carol Morrison. I am serving for the Vice President of Finance for DECA this year. I am happy to introduce our basic facilitator, which is Greg Summers. He has trained us in leadership for the past 3 years at JSL and helps with training all over the United States and throughout Idaho.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Greg Summers, like Carol just said, and for the last 3 years, I have had the distinct pleasure of being able to be a part of JSL, and it's probably one of the most meaningful things that I get to do on an annual basis, and get to work with a lot of students across the state. But this is so meaningful because of what these students, not just what they're getting out of it for themselves, but what they bring to you and your chapters. And so I would just say you're welcome for being able to have these students come to be able to help your chapters be even that much more successful. So we're excited for BASIC, and the whole plan of being here is to really make BASIC, even though it's going to be virtual, and I know that we're all used to, and we've done a lot of virtual events and that sort of thing, but I know that these guys are passionate about making BASIC as meaningful, as helpful as possible, just to bring to your chapters the very best so you can be successful, and we can create leaders that not are only benefiting from what it is that they get to be a part of, but also just being able to contribute to your communities, their schools, and just we're able to lay a platform of just incredible leadership throughout the state and beyond. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the virtual event for BASIC this fall. Thanks.
All right. Hello, everyone again. This is Andrew Armstrong. I'm just going to go over real quick training, if you will, on the DLG. What the DLG is a conference registration system that the majority of the student organizations use for their state conferences or sometimes national or international conferences. And it's the system that we use to register for BASIC. So what I'm going to go over real quick is just a couple of helpful tips and hints for you to get started for this year. So first off, as far as logging in, you will be sent a link, or we will post it on social media pages as well as the student organization and CTE websites. So you follow the link on the home page, you click your conference registration button, and you enter username and password. For those returning to any of the events, username and password will not have changed from previous years. So hopefully you wrote that down. If you didn't, myself or Stephanie Garcia, we are able to log in and get you that information. So please don't try to create a new login username and profile, stuff like that. We're able to reset that password and get you squared away. Let's see. So for basic training, I guess a little bit more specific. Each CTSO from each chapter is required to register. So what that'll mean is, for example, if you're from Gooding High School, but your school has FFA, FCCLA, any of the other student orgs, each one of those CTSOs is required to register. And the way we've done this registration in the past is, again, as we said, the previous username login information is below. If you are brand new, as you can see below on the slide there, you can click to add your school on the home page if it hasn't been already. If it has, the way we're going to do this is, as you can see below, you list the school name in the section when prompted, when you're registering, and then the name of the CTO and the way CTSO. And the reason we do this is because there's a lot of as I said, CTSOs from the same school. So example I have is CUNA. They have quite a lot of them. So you'll do CUNA High School BPA, CUNA High School FCCLA. If you try to just do one that's already been taken, you'll come up with, it'll give you a lot of error messages and then you may be frustrated. If that's the case, something's already been created for your school, again, go ahead and give Stephanie and I a call and we'll get you squared away as far as that goes. When adding the students to the registration, make sure you follow all the prompts. It should walk you through it just fine. Be sure to spell the names properly when you add each of your students, because that's the information that we use to create name tags. So on the day of, if your student has a misprinted name tag or something, the reason why is their name was misspelled when they were registered. Be sure to make sure to register all the attendees. That includes advisors and or chaperones. We will go through the invoices later on, and if your chapter is missing an advisor, we're going to add that advisor to the registration, and then you'll be re-invoiced. And it's a little bit of a hassle to deal with at the last minute, and advisors sometimes get an unexpected invoice. And so they'll call us with a little bit of frustration. We have to refix that. If another advisor from your school is going to be bringing your CTSO and you're deciding, maybe you don't want to register yourself, just go ahead and give us a call and then we can work around that so you don't get charged late fees or additional charges. So moving on, for basic training registration, it can be a little tricky. This is an issue that comes up quite commonly. As you add your students in, you'll see their name and ID will be on the left. We just blacked it out just for demonstration purposes. What you also want to do is click the items category for each and every student and add in there. It'll give you the option. Typically, in the past, it's been the Sunday, Monday option. You click that and it'll be able to add the correct amount to your invoice so that your invoice doesn't come up later on with a $0 amount. So again, as it says here, if add items is not complete, your chapter will not show as completed or registered. By completing the steps, you'll be able to avoid late fees, cases of incomplete registrations. Maybe you thought you completely registered and then you show up the day of and something wasn't quite followed through all the way. We do frequently check up on this information, but we're not always able to catch it before the conference ends up starting. Finally, just be sure to fully complete your registration. Once everyone's added, there will be, chances are, 2 or 3 different final submit buttons. Just make sure you scroll down to the page. Even if an invoice pops up, go ahead and scroll down to the bottom of the page because there may be some, complete finalized registration or, just make sure the prompt comes up that says your registration is complete, and then it'll give you your invoice and you'll be good to go. Again, if you have any adjustments that you need to make later on, you can do that. You can log in so long as the registration system is open. So what you'll want to do is you'll receive emails and correspondence from your CTSO managers, or as well as Stephanie and myself. Pay attention to the closing dates to avoid late fees or unfinished registrations. As far as making payments, you will receive an invoice with the bill to on there. You can send in a check, or for basic and some of the other CTSOs, we do have an Access Idaho webpage created so that you can pay for your conferences using a credit card. There is an additional small percentage fee in order to do that, but the option is there. The example I gave you is on the main login page for basic. You can follow that link right there and you'll be able to pay for your basic payment online. So in closing, just to kind of recap a little bit, each CTSO DLG login and registration, it is different, but if you've used it in the past, your login information should roughly be the same. Make sure to keep your login information for each registration site because each one is different. So if you're registering for a state leadership conference, your login will be different from the basic training conference. For basic training, be sure to select the Add Items button in the Items column in order to complete your invoice and make sure you're selecting the correct days that you want to attend. And then again, verify and completely follow through with registration. And pay attention to those registration deadlines to avoid the late fees. And then, as always, we are here to help and support you. If you need help, please reach out. I did leave my contact information for myself and Stephanie Garcia, or our contact information is available on the ICTE website. And again, here is mine and Stephanie's contact information should you need help with anything at all. Thank you.
Awesome. That's good information. I'm gonna open this up and look at the chat and see. It looks like we have a couple things in here. Oh, good morning. Lots of good mornings. Purchase order for basic. The purchase order is fine. You'll just be getting an invoice, so you would turn that into your bookkeeper or whoever's taking care of the finances, and then you'll just send in a check. So you can put a PO number in there if you want to, depending on how your school asks for the tracking on that information. Let's see. So skills, the question is, always use the Skills USA website to register students for leadership conferences. So basic is the one that we use here in Idaho. So we do use DLG for that conference. Some of our orgs use the DLG for their state conferences, and a few of them use it for their national conferences. This is not something new. If your program already uses the one from Skills, what does HOSA use? Do they use? They all use their own. So you would keep going with that. We just wanted to address basic and the DLG because we've had a lot of questions. So we thought we'd tell you all together. Let's see. Basic will be virtual this year. We are exploring a couple different platforms right now on how we're going to deliver that. And we will have more information for you within this month on dates and what that format is going to look like and what the registration will look like depending on the format that we end up using. What other questions do you have? Go ahead and type them in there. Do you two want to add anything while we wait for more questions? They said we covered it. All right, I'll just give it a few more seconds here, see if anyone has any more questions. But thank you so much for attending. You're going to have your individual breakouts here in a moment. Some of you are at 10:45, some are at 11. I think one of you is 11:30, mainly because we only have so many licenses for Zoom. So we had to kind of stagger some of you. So check your email. If you need another one sent, email any of us and let us know, and we will get that over to you shortly. All right, I'm going to let the officers say goodbye. You guys can talk.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you again.